today's video, we are going to talk about 2 things you can focus on to become way better at NHL 23. Yet again, we've talked about this in multiple videos already, but we are going to talk about the self-pass and we are going to talk about strategies. Now, in order to do the self-pass properly, you have to be in at least a medium speed motion or a high speed motion. You cannot be skating slowly. It's not going to work very well at all. And what you're going to do as you are in motion, you are going to be holding the sprint button and you are going to tap the saucer pass button. Literally just a light tap.
All you gotta do is just tap it in. Just tap it in. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
Now, you don't need to be holding the sprint button. I just recommend it because you're gaining way more speed when you do so. So if this is your controller right here, you have your saucer pass in R1 and your sprint in L3. Typically to sprint skate, you are going to go forward and hit L3. And amidst that, what you are also going to do, you are just lightly going to tap R1 right here. Throughout all that, you can still control your stick. So it's something to think about. You can do a self pass from a backhand, from a forehand. The ups and the downs of doing the self pass. It can totally be abused because really what you are doing is you are disengaging from the puck and then re-engaging to the puck. If you are doing it very well, oftentimes you are going to be disengaging and re-engaging very quickly. The faster the skater, the better it works, to be honest. It can also be done with a fourth liner. It doesn't need to be done with a Connor McDavid or a Johnny Gaudreau or Taylor Hall, some of these players with very fast speeds. It can be done with second, third, fourth liners who are not very fast, even with defensemen. But you are going to get the best bang for your buck if you're using somebody who is faster. Now, the thing I want to talk about today as far as the self-pass goes is the fact that you can not only do it from backhand and forehand, but you can also do it in different directions. This can be done very, very well to get around a group of players. So if you have potentially 2 players on your left, you can hit self-pass, get that puck to your right side and skate around those players and find a lot more success using it that way than just skating straight up the ice right into the defense. You can even do it between the legs. I mean, I don't know how effective this would actually be, and it's kind of a mashup of your fingers because you're pushing so many buttons at once. But if you can actually time this, not only does it make for one of the sickest goals that you can get, but it will throw your opponent off completely. So doing it at full speed, you would just hit right stick in L1 as well. That brings it between the legs, and then you just lightly would tap R1. So kind of a heavy breakdown of the self-pass. It can be as simple as just tapping R1 and using it to skate in stride faster, but it can be used in many different ways. Those are just a few things I have figured out while using the self-pass in online games and offline games, also in testing. I just hop into a free skate and I test the self-pass to see what you can and can't do with it, where it is and is not effective. The reason why I want to talk about strategies, when you play very good players, one of the things that they do is they adjust their strategies on the fly. That's also what I do. I kind of adjust my strategies based off of the opponent I'm playing, the scenario that I'm in, because what you are doing when you're adjusting your strategies and understanding your strategies and what they do for your team, the AI on the ice, you are either going to have them play for you or play against you depending on your opponent. So for example, we're just in the online menu right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the way I look at strategies and how to just understand them better, because I think understanding the strategies allows you to move your strategies around on the fly and get the AI on your team to actually work with you. You're going to go to the offense in the R2 there, go down to team strategies, and what this is going to do, this is something that a lot of people don't know about. You go into this menu and you can understand exactly what the strategies are going to do as you adjust them in game. We'll talk about the defensive strategy in a moment. First things first, these are the things that I adjust on the fly that I think can be very effective to understand. So defensive strategy, high pressure. Your team is at their most aggressive. Protect the net. Protect the net is something that if you want to stop wraparounds, if you want to stop cross creases, this is the best defense to use, because not only when you are controlling your players are you sticking around the net, this is also going to get your AI to stick around the net with you to prevent any of those passes, any of those wraparound goals. Players collapse in the defensive zone. Contain puck. Players will stay between the puck and the net. Defensive pressure, normal. A solid mix of one-on-one and zone defense. This would be good for something like 3-on-3 or 4-on-4. Puck side attack. Players on the strong side attack the puck. And then when you look at defensive strategy, another thing to get your players to collapse to the net to prevent those wraparounds and cross creases. Collapsing. Players collapse to the front of the net and slot. Staggered. A good mix of low and high coverage. Tight point. Use against teams with high scoring D-men. So if you're finding you're getting scored on a lot by players that are just shooting from the point, looking for tips, looking for rebounds, tight point might be something you'd consider because you're going to be using this against teams with high scoring D-men shooting from the point. So as far as defensive strategy, those are the most important things that you can adjust. When you go up top here, you can adjust your forecheck in the game as well. I usually don't touch this too much, but the 1-2-2 aggressive, 1 forward and deep, forcing play up the boards into teammates, 1-2-2 passive forecheck with all skaters looking to prevent breakout passes. So that would be really smart. If you're finding somebody's constantly trying to pressure you at the blue line, this would be something really wise to use because as it states in the bottom, passive forecheck. So your team's not going to be at their most aggressive, but what they are going to do is they're going to be constantly thinking and looking for those breakaway attempts, those breakout passes. A 2-3, 2 nearest forwards pressure the puck while the third forward drops back. So this is just kind of a safe bet as well. And the weak side lock forwards will pressure the play along the boards where the strong side defenseman will pinch along the boards while the weak side defenseman will drop back and cover the point. So there's always some safe plays. It just depends on what kind of safe play you want to use. Neutral zone. So as the puck is entering the neutral zone, you can adjust this as well. As you learn to adjust this on the fly, it's just memorization at that point. It takes some time, some practice, but it is worth it because you're telling your AI what to do and where to go, and then you don't have to think about controlling every single player all the time. A 1-4 in the neutral zone trap with 1 defender pressuring the puck and 4 players defending the blue line. That's a very, very safe bet. A 1-2-2 red defenders will hold the neutral zone and apply pressure to the breakout at the red line. A 1-2-2 blue defenders will hold the neutral zone and apply pressure to the breakout at the opposing blue line. And a 1-3-1 neutral zone trap with 1 defender pressuring the puck carrier, 3 players defending the blue line, and 1 deep in the defensive and defending the net. When we're looking at offense, these are very important things to know. Are your players going to run with you up the ice, or are they going to kind of lay back? These are important things to understand. So offensive pressure standard, a good mix of cautious and aggressive play. Aggressive defense will take some chances. So if you want to get all men forward and you're ready to put pressure on your opponent, aggressive offensive pressure is going to be your choice. Full attack, players are only thinking about offense, which is really even better than aggressive. And the defend lead, players will not take any chances. So if you want to kind of have a safe bet, what I typically do is when I'm first starting a game to understand how an opponent, this is typically mainly just for online, but how an opponent is going to play, I'll usually do like a defend lead, I will do protect the net, and then I will do collapsing. And what that's going to do is your team's going to be very focused on keeping your goalie safe in that defensive zone, not letting too much through. So that's typically what I would run. And then if we're looking at offense, I would do a defensive pressure, protect the net. I would do a defensive strategy, collapsing. And then for offense, I would do like a defend lead, and then control breakout. I'm not too worried about because that's just focusing more on the breakout. And last but not least, this trap / forecheck, basically whichever direction you go, your team's going to be more focused on. So this slider sets the bias of your team's decision to set up in a neutral zone or offensive zone forecheck. I typically would do offensive zone forecheck. Your players are they're ready to enter that zone, right? They're not going to kind of linger behind. You want to get that puck in because you know your team's coming with you. So that would be the wise play there. If you're focused more on a trap, again, a more defensive choice there for you if you're going towards the trap side. Kind of a heavy breakdown of the self pass. Can be as simple as just tapping R1 and using it to skate in stride faster, but it can be used in many different ways. And if you can practice those ways, master those ways, it can be implemented into your game and make you so much better. And as far as strategies goes, there's a lot when it comes to strategies, but it's just a matter of taking the time, understanding the strategies, how to make your team more offensive, how to make your team more focused defensive, giving your AI an actual mission that aligns with yours on the ice. I promise you, putting that extra time to understand the strategies of this game, NHL 23, is so worth it. I have another video that I broke down 3 tips, some similar from this one here, but a lot of other ones as well. I will take that one below as well as right here. And until next time, take care.